We are at the launch of new African twins. No, not these, but of this bike, of Honda Africa Twin. The legend has returned. In 1980s, Honda had a big following with Africa Twin. Well, at that time it wasn't called Africa Twin, it was called NXR 750, and they had plenty of success on Paris-Dakar and on rally races all over the world. After that, they left the field for the Germans, and you know, when you leave the Germans too long, they start a war or do something nasty. That's why Japanese brand Honda, the biggest brand, has returned to this field of big touring bikes with the intention of slightly rallying and slightly off-roading, and they put all together all the technology they have on the suspension, on the gearbox, on the engine, and now we have the 2016 Africa Twin. Now let's start with the design. This bike has the old heritage of Africa Twin's old image, where they're like a bus front and a big head, and lots of room for instruments, and a long tail, a comfy seat, a bit tall, a bit heavy, not too heavy by the way, because they told us that at the press launch that they worked quite a bit to put all the center of gravity as low as possible. And to achieve that, they put all the mass centralization stuff together on this engine and gearbox part. The engine. Now, the engine is a 1000cc parallel twin. We weren't expecting something that lively and something that powerful and something that easy to control. Well, that's the Soichiro Honda's heritage, and it was his words to put together bikes that were easy to ride and with high quality, and they did it again with this bike. What we liked when we turned the engine on? Well, we liked the position of the seat, we liked the instrumentation, we liked all the high quality, the Honda-ness of this bike. What we didn't like is this weird positions of these buttons. Now, first of all, they started by changing the position of horn and the blinkers. Now, they put a very important button on a very critical position. We are used to putting our first finger on the high beam, low beam selection here, and now instead of that we have traction control modes, and we can change the traction control mode easily by trying to signal somebody. So that's a bit weird. I don't know why they are doing this, but that's an ongoing trend with Honda. The engine is a 95 bhp, 90 Newton meters torque, producing a very powerful, a very tasty mill. Well, we witnessed 1000cc twins before, like with KTM and some other brands. None of them were that easy to ride, and none of them could provide that much power as we wish. It's so easy to open the throttle and have this nice throaty response. The engine has plenty of power, When we switch off the traction control easily, which is a bonus and which is a first that I saw on a bike, it is so easy to switch off the traction control. On the first gear, when we open the throttle, well, we can see the skywards. The front wheel goes skywards. When we open the throttle on the second gear, again when traction control is off, again a bit of a wheelies. So it has plenty of power, yet it's still easy to use. Comfort on the seat. Well, we have a huge seat. Now they are giving us 3 optional seats. Normal one with 2 options, the low one and also a high one. So it's about from 90 centimeters to 82 centimeters. We have plenty of options on the seat. The gearbox is a technology that Honda has been trying for many years now. It's a dual clutch gearbox. And, well, some of the testers here liked it, some of them hated it. In my humble opinion, if you are somebody who would like to make tours on this bike and who is going to put the missus on the back with lots of luggages, you are not rushing anywhere. You are not going to, make small races with your friends. So, that's easy. Plus, the gearbox can be controlled by the plus and minus buttons here and also by a lever, optional lever on the foot. Well, it all depends to you. As we speak now, as I'm presenting this bike to you right now in the February of 2016, Honda is selling now NSX in the United States and also in Europe. So the big giant has awakened, and the giant now is getting all the heritage from the 1980s and 90s, where they were all the time leading the race, leading the market. All the time they were biggest and most successful company. Now they are back in the game. They've been hibernating for a long time now. Honda is back.